Welcome people to maybe a long video, but hopefully I'm going to try and keep it short to make it straight to the point and not go too rambly. Either way, this is how to make your website live video, mainly for myself, so that I can then direct a customer to it and say, here, watch this video. And I wanted to, why not share it on YouTube, and then you guys also see it. So how do you make your website live so people can look at it? Well, let's say for instance, you are this Square and you've created a website. Let's do this. Okay, and that's your website. It's contained on your laptop, right? Let's zoom in a little bit. There's your website. It's on your laptop or desktop. So we'll put laptop on here, or desktop. Okay, that's contained on there, but no one can see it because it needs to be broadcast. This website that you've created in a file inside a folder, you've got 5 standard websites, 5 files: index, home, contact, maybe an images file, maybe you've got some JavaScript going in there. Whatever your website that you've designed on your laptop, no one can see it. So what you need to do is you need to host this website. You need 2 things basically: hosting package and a URL. So the hosting package, if you come up here, yeah, your hosting, what we'll have here is the URL, and you also need on top of that, yeah, hosting. Now without these two things, hosting and URL, you can't make this live. What's a URL? Well, you can imagine the URL as a key. Okay, that's your key. You're buying a key. When someone types in, say for instance, for an example, let's say www.joeblogs.com, that's a key. Okay, that is your key that you've just purchased. Okay, that is your key. Now that needs to open a door to this website. Okay, how does that happen? It doesn't happen this way. No. What it does, this key, it comes to a hosting package, being this guy, yeah. So it comes to your hosting, and your hosting will say, I know where to find that. It's inside your folder that you uploaded to your hosting package, and that gives them direct access to your website. So that's what a URL does. Okay, that's what a URL does. So hosting package and URL from the same provider. But where do you buy a hosting package from, and where do you buy URLs from? Well, you buy your hosting package depending on the size of your website, more on that in a minute, but your hosting package comes from a service provider, right? Of a service provider. Now, these service providers take the form of names like, let me just get some names out for you. Fasthosts are very good. Bluehost. Bluehost is good. You must have heard of GoDaddy. Yeah. You must have heard of HostGator. You've got DreamHost. You've got I use Host Presto. Yeah, I use Host Presto. You must have heard of Wix, and you must have heard of Squarespace. Okay, all these companies offer, they are all service providers. Your hosting and URL can come from one of these guys. These guys here will give you access to a folder. Some of them, I think Wix and Squarespace, I think they do this, but I know most of them, if not all of them, will give you access to a special place called a control panel. Right? Access to a control panel application, right? And inside this is where, inside this folder, you will find a folder called public HTML. You're going to upload your website to this, okay? And that's inside your control panel, and that's inside your service provider. Is that making sense? So this public HTML inside your control panel, if you put your files inside the public HTML, if somebody then types in www.joeblogs.com, they won't be directed to that. It will be directed to this guy, and that guy, public HTML, will then come to this guy and look for that. That way then people will be able to view your website. So you need two things: hosting and a URL. Once you've got those two things, you'll get access to a control panel for where you can upload your newly found website to it. That way then, and you associate that you will tell the hosting company or the service provider, you're going to do this, that I want you to associate my URL to this hosting package. So when someone types in this URL, it goes to the public HTML file, and inside the public HTML, there should be one file inside your public HTML with the index.html. This guy here will open up the website, and that's basically your home page. If that doesn't make sense, it seems a bit iffy-wiffy, but basically to get your website live, you need a hosting package and a URL. Where do you get them from? You get them from service providers like this. You tell the service provider to associate the newly purchased URL to the hosting package that you've just brought. And some people, some websites, some service providers, depending on the package that you buy, hosting package that you buy, I think it's between £30 a year to maybe £50 to 120. Then you've got VAT on top of that. You can also, in some of these website hosting packages, you can host 5 websites, or in some cases, unlimited websites. All you need to do is keep purchasing URLs. So I've got a package now. I'm using that with HostPresto. I can launch as many websites as I want through HostPresto. So if I want to keep being entrepreneurial, but I've got unlimited space. It depends on your website. If you've got like a 5-page website, yeah, a low-end package will be for you. If you've got even a 25, a low might be okay for that. But depending on the content per page, do you know what I mean? So if you've got, like, if you're going into the world of e-commerce, well, I'll go there. Let's say, for instance, you want to put lots and lots and lots of images onto your website, without going too much into detail, but let's say you've got lots of images that you want to display, you may need a medium. So let's say you might only have 5 pages, but the content that you're going to be sticking on those 5 pages vastly goes beyond anything. You might need a med. That's mainly for lots of photos. Okay. If you've got lots of photographs, you might need a medium package. If you're going for anything, put a line under that. If you're going for e-commerce, yeah, just go for the max. Then you're sorted. Anything e-commerce, go max. Whatever it got. I mean, at the moment, you're looking for anything e-commerce wise. If you launch in any one of these websites, e-commerce max, you're looking at a price anything from 150. That's almost top end, to maybe a bit more, but you could get away with 80 quid a year. But then again, add on to that, you might get you will have to buy something called a socket secure layer. Okay, that's called an SSL, socket secure layer. Now that can come for anything from £30 a year to £100 a year. And what does the socket secure layer do? Well, here's your hosting and URL that you just purchased. Here's your website that you've now put into your public HTML through the control panel. So if somebody does type in your URL in their search box or inside their address bar, they will be able to open up your website because you've put it into this public HTML. Now, what does the socket secure layer do? If you're going down the e-commerce route and you want to build a website where you want to sell stuff and this, that, and the other, this socket secure layer, if done right, should put a small padlock on the address bar. So when you type in this and you're on your website, you should see a little padlock here, okay, with the URL here, okay, and that padlock says this connection that the website you're viewing is secure. Now, what does this actually do? It wraps imagine this, you purchase this between £30 to £100 a year. That then connects to your hosting and your URL around this domain. It puts a complete circle of a protection line all around it, and it puts you inside a big massive bubble. It puts you in a massive bubble. It puts everything inside a bubble, and it's protected. So when someone wants to view your website from the outside, let's go over here, and they want to view it, they're going to hit the barrier, okay, and they're going to go, okay, we're going to let you through, thank you. We're going to let you look at this website, okay, and let's say, for instance, you want to purchase something from the e-commerce website that you're doing, yeah, it will protect the customer while they're inside this bubble from outside predators, and it will also protect you from outside predators trying to get in or sniff at what's going on. It's opened up a little port just for that person to look at it, and it said, okay, you want to view the website, that's great, but it won't, anything that's like credit card details, personal details, etc., etc., anyone that's trying to sniff at this and try to look at people's screens or try to fraud, it's not 100% safe, but at least you've got that extra protection. It's, I would say, 99.99% of the time it's safe to buy a socket secure layer for your website. Any transactions inside this bubble, you're going to be safe with a socket secure layer. That's the purpose of it, because they're inside your website now. They're purchasing stuff inside this website. They're allowed in. They're doing something. They need protection, and you need protection, and that's what a socket secure layer does. So to get your website live, depending on what type, you basically need a hosting package and a URL. If you're unsure, get advice. If you want to get a web guy in, please do. Web girl, they will help you to do this. If you've already designed your website and you want to make it live, it's called broadcasting. You're broadcasting your website. No one can see it on your laptop or desktop. So you need a hosting package somewhere where you can upload it to, and then you need a key, which is your URL, which you need to purchase, www.joeblogs.com or .co.uk. You need to buy that, and then you tell your hosting provider or service provider, one of these companies, to associate this URL to that. And that's basically a click. I want you to associate this hosting package to this URL. Happy days. And that's it. It's done. And inside the public HTML file, when you open that, you can upload files to this, and that's where you're going to upload your website to. Simple. And then the hosting package or the service provider will give you a control panel application that you then open it inside your browser, and then this is where you'll gain access to this. So this is your backbone to your website, the control panel. Once you've got this, you can gain access to this. But it's simple stuff, really. If you need to got questions on any of the aspects here, please let me know. Yes, it looks like it doesn't look very professional in the way that I put it, but it is exactly this way. To get that live, you need to contact a service provider. If you've already got a URL but you haven't got hosting, go to the company that you've got your URL with and say, I want to purchase hosting. If you're with a person that's a third party, that third party is going to another place to buy your URL for you. And it's that company, not the one you're dealing with. It might be him. So you need to go to the actual service provider, one of these hosting companies. If you need to transfer URL to them, like that, you can do that too. But that's getting a bit messy. So I would advise anyone that's coming into want to upload your website to broadcast it, buy your hosting, buy your URL on one of these companies, and then associate that. Simple, and you're off and running. If you need to rewatch this, rewatch it. If you've got any questions, please put them down below. I just wanted to put this up. In part 2, I'm going to talk about these companies, and I probably will mention some of this again. I mean, if you look at, again, I'll just quickly do this, in Squarespace and Wix, and I think most of these do this anyway, they offer a site builder, so you can build your site inside this hosting provider, do you know what I mean? And then you can launch it. We need a URL, of course, for it, but they offer this as well. So hosting package URL with the same company, like Wix or Squarespace. And I think Presto do that too. I think all of them offer the one-click WordPress website if you want to go down that route. But this thing here is just for describing to you how to make your website live that you've designed yourself. Do you know what I mean? But you could also do this at a WordPress site. You could design a WordPress site on your laptop inside a local environment. Then to make that alive, you'd have to upload all your files to this guy. But then that gets also messy, because then hopefully inside your hosting package, you've got a database, access to a database system. Because that's, if you're going down the WordPress route, inside your control panel here, you'll have something called databases. Okay, and inside there, that is where you're going to create a database and associate that to your WordPress. Okay, WordPress, Bill. Yeah, then you can upload your HTML files to this once you've got your database set up. So it gets a bit more complicated when you want to be uploading your WordPress site to that. But this is a bog standard 5-page website, even a 1-page website. You need to host it somewhere. No one can see it on your laptop or desktop, so you need to go to a service provider to buy hosting and a URL. If you're in a position to do you've already got the URL, you need to buy hosting from them to host it, and that can cost anything from 30 quid a year to maybe £150 a year, like I said down here. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to, in part 2, run through these and have a look at some of the packages that some of these guys are offering, and give you an in-depth view into it. So hopefully you enjoyed that part 2 when I look at these companies. And then some of these things, will be in there anyway inside that review of each one of these. So hopefully you come back for that one. And thank you very much for watching this sort of understandable diagram. So thanks, guys. If you've got any questions, please let me know. I look forward to your questions, look forward to your likes. If you've got any suggestions on things you want to know, let me know. I'll do that next time. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in part 2. Bye now.